Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I've got a grocery haul to share with you. I went to Coles, my local fruit and veg shop, and my fishmonger. I'll go through everything I bought and the pricing and the meal plan as well. And then if you stay until the end of the video, you'll get to see my cooking clips as well. So let's start with the fish market. I grabbed some more pippies this week because they were so good last week. I wanted to buy some more. I actually got 1 kilo this week and they were $25 a kilo. They're still alive. I like to soak them in some salt water. Grab some walnuts, they're $25 a kilo, great to have as a snack. And I also stocked up on these. Well, I didn't really stock up on them, I only grabbed 2. I really should have grabbed more though, because these Trident Tom Yum Goon soups are really nice. It does come with these little noodles. I find they're a really good snack, especially in winter. If you want to bulk it up into a bigger snack or maybe a light meal, you can add in some poached egg or veggies as well. So I think they were $1.25 sell to $1. Grabbed a little Revlon lip balm. It was 40% off, so it's $5.40. I really like this. Some toothbrush heads, which you guys are probably aren't interested in, but they were half price. The I'm Perfect carrots were, I think, the cheapest option this week at Coles. And then I grabbed these mushrooms at my greengrocer. I think that was $1.50 each. I'm going to do a little black pepper stir fry with the mushrooms and these rice vermicelli noodles and half of the pippies. The other half I'm going to cook a little pasta with fresh tomatoes and salami. Avocado. This is actually going to be for some salmon sashimi. I will pop by the Sydney Fish Market probably on Sunday to grab some salmon sashimi. We like to have that with some avocado and white steamed rice. Salami, this was at Coles. We just grabbed the Hungarian one because it was cheaper than the Espresso this week. That's going to be for the pasta. Some penne. That's going to be for the one of the meal preps. I'm going to be making a creamy chicken, tomato-y, garlic, onion pasta. That's what the tomato paste is for. I think that was 90 cents. Cream, that's going to be for the meal prep. Mandarins, they were only, they were $2.50 at the fruit shop. And they look beautiful, really orange. So that's going to be one of the fruits of the week. These beautiful yellow, are they baby tomatoes, grape tomatoes? They were $8 a kilo at the fruit shop. Coles and Woolies sometimes sell them loose for about $17 a kilo, so obviously I got it a lot cheaper at the greengrocer. If you buy them in the little punnets, I think they're even more expensive at Coles and Woolies. Grapes. Okay, these grapes, I will admit, they're not the best looking grapes. I didn't pick these. My partner picked these up at the greengrocer. I left him alone in the aisle and he managed to get probably one of the oldest looking grapes. Anyways, this was $5 a kilo. Generally, when I buy grapes, I like to pick the grapes with the bright green stems. I think that means they're fresher and they often taste nicer. So these ones you can tell are a little bit old. But yeah, my partner picked those ones up. The garlic, that was at Coles for $30 a kilo. I like getting garlic from Coles because it is Australian. Capsicum was so much cheaper at my greengrocer. It was $5 a kilo, whereas my local Coles and Woolies was selling it for $9 a kilo, and that was the Coles and Woolies sale price. Zucchini was $3.80. Onions were $2 at my greengrocer. I still have 1 or 2 in the fridge, so I only grabbed 1. Chicken thighs were $13.50 a kilo. I grabbed 1.3 kilos because that's going to be used for meal prep across the week. Generally, I like to get my chicken thighs at Aldi because it's cheaper, but because this was the 4th week spend for my partner, where you spend $50 each week, 4 weeks in a row, and you get 10,000 flyby points. So we just bought the chicken thigh at Coles. We also grabbed some chicken breast here that you guys can see. I'm going to be making some schnitzels for the weekend. So I've just got some panko crumbs at home. I'm going to lightly coat it in some egg wash. And then the crumbs, I like to season it with a bit of sea salt and smoked paprika. And then I also grabbed these ancient grains. I love snacking on these. They were 50% off. So it was $2.25 for this pack. And I generally like to mix it in with these walnuts, one of my favorite treats. Drinking chocolate, we actually already left Coles, and then when we got home we realized, oh, we forgot to get some of this drinking chocolate. So my partner ended up popping out to the local Woolies to grab it, and this was $6 for this. A little bit on the pricey end. Generally, I like to get the Coles brand hot chocolate, drinking chocolate, because it's only $3 and it tastes the same as this, if not a little bit nicer. But for convenience sake, he just picked that one up. And then we got some milk at the back there that you guys can see. So stay tuned, guys. Follow on to the next clip, because that's where I'm going to share all of the cooking clips with you guys. So this is the cooking segment of the video, guys. I've just flattened out some of my chicken breast and then lightly seasoned it with salt, smoked paprika and garlic, and I'm just cooking it in a little bit of olive oil and probably about a teaspoon of butter. Once that's pretty much 75% cooked through, I chuck in some cherry tomatoes just to saute them a little bit. Then I pop it on my plate with a little bit of that Mediterranean eggplant and capsicum dip that I had left over. In these next few clips, I'm going to share how I cook pipis in two different ways. So I'm starting off by just popping the pipis in a pot with a little bit of water and chucking in some mushrooms of choice. I then pop the lid on and let it steam for a little bit, and then I add on my vermicelli noodles and pop the lid back on again and let it steam for a little bit longer until the clams open up. Once they open up, I then add in my sauce of choice. So I'm adding in the black pepper sauce from Lee Kum Kee. It's supposed to be like a stir-fry sauce, but I've experimented with this before with the pipis and it's so good. So I decided to remake this dish with a bit of a spin. So that's the finished product, guys. It was really, really delicious, and I will definitely be making these again. It was a huge hit in my household. In this next clip, I'm going to share another meal that I love making with pipis. I've got some garlic, salami, cherry tomatoes. Generally, I use the hot espresso salami, but it wasn't on sale, so I just grabbed any salami. Got some lemon, butter, spaghetti, and the pipis. You can replace it with clams as well if you like. So I start by popping them into my pot, letting it steam a little bit. Then I add in my garlic and salami, mix that through for probably about 30 to 40 seconds until I add in a little bit of butter as well. I also added in a little bit of hot sauce off camera. I forgot to film that. You can add in sriracha, chili oil, hot pepper paste, whatever sauce of spice. You can even add in fresh bird's eye chili if you have any on hand. I've just mixed all of that through, lightly seasoned with salt, and then chucked in my cherry tomatoes. I do have a pot of spaghetti boiling off camera as well. Once my clams are cooked, I add the spaghetti in, mix it all through so the spaghetti absorbs all of that sauce at the bottom. I also tend to serve a little wedge of lemon or lime on the side of my plate. It just helps freshen the meal up as well. Now this next meal didn't exactly go to plan because, as you guys can see, my pot is very overcrowded with chicken thighs, but it ended up turning out okay. So I've started by cooking off my chicken thighs. I don't add oil because chicken thighs are quite fatty. Then I start chopping up lots of garlic. I think I used probably about 8 large cloves of garlic, but just keep in mind this is meal prep for the week, so it's not just one singular meal. Once my chicken's 70% cooked, I generally chop them up into small little chunks. Then I add in my onions and capsicum. You can use any veggies of choice. Sometimes I like to use mushrooms or cherry tomatoes, but one, I ran out of cherry tomatoes. Two, mushrooms were too expensive, so I ended up using capsicum. I've also added in my garlic. I don't add the garlic in at the start because I don't like burnt garlic, so I tend to add it in towards the end, so that way I get that garlicky flavor without it burning. Then I add in a whole little tin or can of tomato paste. It's a small little cans you can get at Coles or Woolies. Then I mix that through and lightly season it with salt. Later on, you guys will see I add a huge amount of smoked paprika in. I'm someone that really, really loves paprika, so just add according to your taste buds. Taste, season, that's generally what I do. I don't follow any exact recipes. So as you can see here, I'm chucking in the capsicum, letting that saute a little bit. Then I add in my thickened cream, and then you guys will see me dump in a whole load of smoked paprika. Whilst I'm making this sauce, I do have another pot on the side that's boiling my pasta. Once that's done, I strain it and mix it in with my sauce. So as you guys can see there, I just dumped in the whole little tin or jar of thickened cream. What I tend to do is add in a little bit of water in that little jar and mix it up and then pour it back out just so I can get all of the cream out from the little jar, tin, container, whatever you'd like to call it. So there's my smoked paprika, as you guys can see, and that's not the first round of smoked paprika I add in. I add in probably twice that amount later on as well. I'm not sure if I filmed that for you guys though. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's my sauce. I just spoon that over my pasta and I'm good to go. That's my meal prep. So in this next clip, guys, I've got some more chicken thigh cooking in my pot. I've lightly seasoned it with salt, and veggie-wise, I've got some carrot, onions, and frozen green beans. I just wanted to note, whenever I cook with chicken thigh, I don't add oil most of the time because it's quite a fatty cut of meat. Then I've got my butter chicken container here from Patak's. I bought it on sale probably last week when it was half price. So once the chicken's 70% cooked through, I chop it up into small chunks. Then I add in my veggies, so my onions and carrots, because I like having them really soft in my curries. Then I add in my frozen green beans. Once the veggies have all cooked through, I then add in my curry sauce and mix that through. Now, I tend to add a bit of water into the jar again just to shake it up so it's easier for me to get all the sauce out of the jar. But if you want it really thick, then maybe just use a spoon to scrape out all of the sauce, because when you do add in that little bit of water, it does make the curry just slightly more runny. Whilst I'm prepping this curry, I do have some white steamed rice on the side. I generally like to have my curry over some white steamed rice. Sometimes I'll have it with those little garlic naans that you can get from Coles, but most of the time it is with white rice. It's just easier and quicker for me to make. And this little clip here is that Tom Yum Goong instant soup that I bought from Coles. It was super delicious.